Good afternoon, everybody. Will Dupree here in the KXAN Live studio. Thank you so much for joining us here on this stream with some pretty big news that the governor's office has now just shared. The governor is now allowing bars to reopen. However, there are some caveats that we want to report about this. So now the authority resides with the county judges here in Texas to decide to reopen bars starting on October 14th. That is a week again from today. So next Wednesday, county judges will now have the authority to reopen bars at 50% capacity. Now, there are some rules according to this new guidance that the governor has shared about how those bars can operate. For instance, tables cannot contain more than 6 people, and customers and employees will have to wear a mask whenever they are inside a bar. So we do want to be able to share this video that the governor has now posted on his Facebook page that you can see pulled up right here. So let's take a listen. This is about 7 minutes or so as we listen into this.
For regions where COVID hospitalizations were less than 15% of all hospitalizations, many businesses were able to expand to a 75% capacity. That included all retail stores, restaurants, office buildings, manufacturing facilities, museums, libraries, gyms, and so much more. But even then, some businesses remained at a 50% capacity, and bars still were not allowed to open. I explained then that the spread of COVID had been cut by more than half since July. But I also noted that we needed to see the COVID spread continue to be contained before additional openings could be made safely. The good news is that even with additional business openings, even with more students returning to school and more gatherings like football games, Texans have shown that we can contain the spread of COVID. For example, today the 7-day average for the positivity rate, for the number of new COVID cases, for hospitalizations and fatalities have remained steady since I made my last announcement. So, it is time to open up more, provided that safe protocols continue to be followed. First, with few exceptions, all businesses that are at a 50% capacity can now expand to a 75% capacity. That includes businesses like amusement parks and bowling alleys, bingo halls and fine arts performing halls, movie theaters, water parks, zoos, aquariums, and many other businesses. Until now, only 2 types of businesses have not been open since July. One is river tubing operations, and the other is bars. It is time to open them up. Initially, they can open at a 50% capacity, provided that they follow the safety protocols. If we continue to contain COVID, then these openings, just like other businesses, should be able to expand in the near future. The primary safety protocol for tubing operations involves the way that they transport customers. Bars must follow distance and seating protocols, just like restaurants have used, as well as other protocols that are intended to contain the spread of COVID. The effective date for all of these expansions is a week from today, which is October the 14th. And, like before, to ensure that hospital capacity for COVID patients is maintained, these expansions apply only in the hospital regions where COVID hospitalizations are less than 15% of hospital capacity. To ensure that these businesses open safely and to help enforce the health protocols, these openings will be done in conjunction with county officials. County judges will be able to opt their county into these new openings beginning October the 14th, provided that they assist in enforcing the safe protocols. Now, there are three reasons why these business expansions, especially the opening of bars, should be more successful than they were last time. First, everyone is much more informed about how fast COVID can spread, how it can overwhelm hospitals if not contained, and what must be done to contain the spread. Second, protocols in place this time are better than used previously, and that is due in part to the helpful input received from bar owners and associations. Third, we are far better prepared to test and to treat Texans for COVID than any time before now. We are now averaging more than 65,000 COVID tests per day. And beginning next week, we will add an additional 100,000 rapid result tests each day. These tests will help us to be able to quickly learn about any COVID outbreaks in schools or nursing homes or in any vulnerable setting. We will be able to more quickly test Texans and treat Texans who get COVID. Also, the treatments are getting better. Hospitals now have abundant supplies of medicines like remdesivir and dexamethasone. And even more powerful medicines will soon be added that will help COVID patients recover even faster. For months now, the spread of COVID-19 has been contained in Texas. Doctors have said that the biggest reason for that success is because Texans are taking COVID seriously. People are following CDC standards like social distancing, sanitizing their hands, and wearing face coverings when around others. So opening bars does not mean that COVID is no longer a threat. Most Texans are still susceptible to it. We simply now know better how to protect ourselves from getting COVID. Everyone has the individual ability to avoid getting COVID and to avoid spreading COVID simply by following the safe practices that everyone has already learned. If everyone continues the safe practices, Texas will continue to contain COVID, and we will be able to open 100%.
All right, there you have it. The governor's video released there on Facebook just a few moments ago to talk about bars being able to now reopen here in Texas. Again, there are some strings attached to that, though. They are not going to be able to open at full capacity. They are allowed to, starting on Wednesday next week, so on October 14th, they can reopen at 50% capacity, and county judges will ultimately have to make a decision whether bars in their county can reopen at this time. So again, a few things to point out there. The governor also saying that starting next Wednesday on October 14th, businesses like amusement parks, movie theaters, zoos, aquariums, and bowling alleys can expand to 75% capacity in counties where COVID-19 hospitalizations make up less than 15% of those total hospitalizations. So we want to point out that portion of this new rule that's been announced here rather unexpectedly. The governor did tweet out earlier this week that some sort of announcement would come about potentially bars. He had shared a picture of two beer mugs clinking and had said cheers at the bottom of the tweet, not really specifying that this announcement would pertain to bars, but that kind of gave us this hint about this action that's being announced today. So, once again, if you're just joining us, I'm Will Dupree here in the KXAN Live studio. We're talking about Governor Greg Abbott announcing that bars will be allowed to reopen at 50% capacity starting next Wednesday, October 14th. However, county judges will ultimately be the ones deciding if their county should opt in to this expansion, this expanded reopening that he's just announced a few moments ago. We should point out that the governor received much criticism and protest from bar workers and bar owners for this particular decision back in July to close bars due to the spread of COVID-19. So now county judges are going to have that authority to be able to reopen bars within their particular communities if they so choose and find it safe to. The governor also, in that video that we just saw a few moments ago, said that tubing operations, river tubing operations, can also reopen. Those also have remained closed since July because of the spread of COVID-19. Excuse me there. The governor did, in his video, also point out three reasons why he says this time will be more successful to open bars at some capacity. He said, number one, everyone is much more informed about COVID-19 and the spread and what to do to protect yourself. Number two, specifically, the protocols are better than what the state had announced previously. And number three, people are better prepared to get tested and also be treated if they receive COVID-19 or infected by that virus that causes this really tragic disease that's killed thousands of people here in the state and sickened several hundred thousand at this point. Okay, we've detailed a lot. There is so much information that has come in very quickly. We've jumped on as fast as we could to be able to share that video that the governor posted on his Facebook page and also go through some of the guidelines that the governor has released from his office about bars reopening. We are working to put all that on our website right now. That's at kxan.com, and on the KXAN News app, you can find the article on there as well. So download that app if you haven't done so already. We'd appreciate it. And you can tune into KXAN News this afternoon and this evening because we are following this late-breaking news that the governor is allowing bars to reopen starting next Wednesday, October 14th, in counties that opt into it. So the county judge ultimately has to decide if bars can reopen at 50% capacity and follow some of those other stringent guidelines, such as parties being limited to 6 people or fewer, and other things like that. Masks will also have to be worn by employees and customers when they're inside an establishment. Again, we're breaking all this down. It's over on our website, kxan.com, so I'll direct you there. For now, I'm Will Dupree here in the KXAN Live studio. Thanks so much for joining our stream. We'll see you back here another time. Please, everyone, stay safe and stay healthy.